Welcome to Pop-Up Camper Pro. I'm your host Derek Smith, and today I'm going to show you how to replace the drive hub extension tube on your Coleman and Fleetwood pop-up camper. So the drive hub extension tube is one of the first parts on many Coleman and Fleetwood pop-up crank assemblies. This 2001 Taos has an intermittent problem. I really don't like the feel of the way this crank assembly is acting, and I suspect that there's an issue inside this kit. Common problems related to this drive hub having a problem are my roof won't stay up, it just slowly sinks back down. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. I turn the handle and nothing happens at all. And my roof is stuck in the up position. You can find more detailed information about how this kit works with the crank assembly systems on my video, How Coleman and Fleetwood Drive Hub Extension Tubes Work. If you're ready to get started, let's go ahead and replace this component. To start, first we want to remove the drive hub extension pin inside the tube. To drive this pin out with a hammer and punch, we're going to want to brace underneath the tube assembly. So it's about 14 inches. So I got some blocks here and a post. I'm going to position it there underneath the tube. Now I'm going to raise the tongue to put pressure on the drive hub extension tube. Now we're going to align the pin to a path of least resistance. That looks good there. And using a hammer and punch, drive it out. Next, we're going to use a 5/8 socket and extension to remove the 5/8 nut inside this tube. And remove the tube by turning it left hand. And let's see what we got left inside. And that's it, just one flat washer. Now that we have the old tube off, we want to take note of the location of the drive hub pin hole. In this 01 Taos, with the depth of the bumper, it's important that we make a new hole in our new drive hub extension tube in this location. Your new tube is likely going to come with the drive hub pin hole closer to the end. In most instances, this is fine, but this Taos is going to need us to move this pin hole. We're also using a slightly longer drive hub extension tube on this camper, just because of availability right now. It works just fine. The only difference are the length of these tubes. So we'll go ahead and mark this location where we need to make a new hole and drill a new pinhole. Alright, lining the drive hub tubes up at the base. It's going to mark the location of the new pinhole. The next step before we install the tube is we want to double check which nut fits best. So there's the fine thread nuts and the coarse thread nuts. And I suspect this drive shaft is the fine thread. And it is. Remove the test nut, set that to the side. Next we have our flat washers, our handle spring, and our nylon spacer, and our tube ready to install. Now I'll show you a trick to inserting these parts onto the drive shaft. The order of assembly will be the spring first, make sure it falls in there correctly, then the nylon spacer, and the 2 flat washers. Now I'll use the crank handle to keep them in place while I install. Turn the drive hub back onto the drive shaft, right hand, while keeping pressed in on the crank handle to keep the components in place. Now that felt like it went all the way tight, so I always just like to double check it. I use a pair of channel locks on the tube just to make sure it is completely tight, and she is. Now to install the 5/8 nut back on the drive shaft, we use a little bit of a thread locking agent. You don't need much, just a little dab. Now it's time to center brace back up, lower the drive hub onto it, and reinstall the handle pin. Okay, it's time to test the system. Undo all 4 roof latches, or you'll be replacing the cable next. When everything's working properly, I should turn the crank handle half or a full turn, and the compression should engage. We should hear the clicking and the roof will go up. When I stop cranking, the roof will hold. When I turn it to the left, the system will decompress and allow the roof to come down. And it's fixed. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you found this informative. You can find this product and many more at our web store at colemanpopupparts.com. Please subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Happy pop-up camping, and we'll see you next time.